Greetings, fellow humans. My name is Scott Boersma. I'm a life coach and a 10X business coach. And I wanted to just tell you why I want to do this. One, because I've been doing outdoor education for the last decade. And the emotional and joy that I get from seeing students come out, and especially teachers, well, this kid are really a problem kids, or like, they can't sit still. And then having them come out into this nice open space is just incredible. And for me, part of the reason why I got into this was also about how do we teach people, kids especially, to be human. Sometimes I think that was something that I struggled with as a kid, of knowing that I needed to care about small talk, that I just needed to say hello. I like to think of my childhood as we all had a book, and I didn't have a different set of instructions that everybody else is, or missing a page or something like that. And I just want to help bring people into the world and bring people to find what is meaningful and awesome to them and help them become better people. And one of the things that I've gotten to see over the years is students who become more assertive just in 2 weeks, because we're thrusting leadership upon them. They get to be the designated leader or the leader of the day, and they get to help move the group through just the daily activities of setting up camp, taking down camp, running our evening meeting or running the circle and whatnot. And the other thing too is helping people connect to themselves and understanding what they want and creating spaces in which you can do that. I felt like I was really lucky in one aspect of my life where it's like I went to youth group, and part of that youth group was this thing called rope. We all sit around, we all have a rope literally that's tied in a circle. And oftentimes there's no prompt to it. It's just say what's on your mind, because it's like whatever is said on the rope stays on the rope. When it's framed really correctly, it goes really quickly, and it's like you hear about the things that are really bothering people that we don't share, because it's really easy to get on social media and be like, oh, everyone's having a really great time, when oftentimes that's not the case, or it's not the case all the time. And so when I started to move into my expedition aspect of outdoor ed, I then went to a company called Deer Hill Expeditions, where every evening, or most every evening, we do this thing called Circle. We do business circle, just being like, hey, plan for tomorrow, things that we need to be aware of, etc. And then Circle, where instead of it being open most of the time, it often is, there's a prompt to it. And one of my proudest moments, one of my greatest successes, is I had this group of teenage boys. Most of them were 16 to 18, and they knew each other. They're from a different camp, and they came to Deer Hill, and it was just so magical to hear at the end of the program when one of them was like, hey, I thought this thing was stupid. I really did. And until you asked the question of what is something about being at this camp, because most of them have been at that camp for a long time, is like, what's been my favorite memory, or what's a really special moment that you've had? And then being able to let that group to open up and share and be vulnerable, I think for me has been one of my greatest successes. And being able to have conversations with them and create space and hold containers for these kids that they can hopefully just be kids and not a high school, because that's the next thing, is that they've applied to high schools and they want to get into a good high school, or it's a college, or holding a container and allowing. I had a student who his parents were divorcing, and there was a lot of shit talking from each parent about the other parent, because he at that time was 16. And so of course there's real impacts beyond him just choosing which parent to be with. And it was a real struggle for him. And for me, the advice that I gave him is, you know what the answer is, you just have to figure out what that is, and being able to make that space of, hey, you've done a program before, and so I very much trust that you can get around, and I'm still going to be a little cautious about that, and setting up a way that he could have independent travel, because sometimes that's just what it needs, and being able to help facilitate that without actually taking an impact, without putting your hands in the pie, so to speak. And that's one thing that I've come to believe over the years, is that there's a lot of things that we don't know. And as we grow, I think there is a lot of knowledge that just gets placed inside of us. And I think if you can really connect to yourself, the answers are ready. You may not know a specific answer of what is 15 times 73.1745, whatever. You can figure that out easy enough. But then there's life things of when there is no right answer, where it's like you have, do I go with parent A or parent B, or do I try and find something else of C? We know what those answers are. I think for me anyway too, I have come to a point And I've been at this point for a while of discovering that sometimes the answer, if I have two answers and I don't like either of them, then I need to find a third answer. Or if there's always another answer or always another option. And finding those options and those answers is my style of coaching in terms of low life coaching. Business coaching, I am a 10x business coach, so there's things that I can help with, but also you often can find the answer to yourself. Figure out the answer that you already had within you. And if you believe that, and if you can be true to that, that's like being true to yourself. And I think for me, it's not about giving the advice to people that they're going to just throw out, or it'd be the best advice I ever received was from him. That'd be awesome. And that's not my goal. I think for me, it's always how can I help you become a better you, meet you where you're at, help you find the answer that you already know. A lot of people, we all already know a lot of the answers. You sometimes have to go out and explore to find an answer, or to find the learning to help you find the answer, to find the framework, to find the idea for yourself. So my commitment to anybody that I work with is I will sit with you. I will do everything that I know how to do to create a container and to hold that container for you to find the answer that you potentially already have within you. Because I believe everyone has an answer within them. And sometimes we just need to be curious. We need to be in the right spot. Sometimes we need to sit in the woods. Sometimes we need to be sitting alone in our rooms by ourselves. Sometimes that means getting on a motorcycle and ripping it down the freeway. Whatever that is, to clear your head, to find the answer. And once you find that answer, then sometimes what can be the real push begins is taking action on that, because sometimes the answer that you find within yourself, you're like, that's the answer. And then it's such a big change and a big shift that taking the action on that is so damn scary. And that's where I'm at in my life, where it's like I have been doing outdoor ed and I'm very comfortable at it. I am pretty competent, still have a lot to learn. And the learning comes from the hard trips, not just any trip. Easy trips for me are easy, and I need the hard ones. And I finally am at a point where it's like, I can't wait for the hard ones, and I like to get these other goals of mine of being able to have a family, having a room that's mine, and to be able to have a trash can that doesn't move because I'm not adjusting to a space, and being able to have a space that I can really fine tune to my needs so that I can find somebody to have a family with. That means that I need to move on, and I also just want to have a lot of freedom, and I want to help people, and I want to mentor people. And that's where it comes in of why I want to coach, is because I want to help people become better versions of themselves. It's really easy to want to do it alone, but we can't. And I think I'm one of the few people, one of a handful of people in the world that can do it. I know I can. I've seen it happen. I'm just in a specific environment, not in changing environments, and it's really scary. If you've made it to this far in the video, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I leave a comment below or send me a DM, and I would like to invite you to Mastermind Accountability, a weekly group of that I honestly think at one point I coined. It's like a struggle group of just like, this is what's going well, this is where I'm struggling, where's everybody else at, just to know that you're not in it alone. And it'll be, at the very least, it'll be monthly. I hope it'll be weekly, because I think that's what we need, is I need that connection of I'm changing my life and I want to be with somebody who's also changing their life. Because there's not a lot of people that are changing their lives, and if they are, and you know them, they're probably drifting away from you, or you're drifting away from them. And that's what feels like the case for me. It's like I love outdoor ed, and I will continue to do some form of tripleting in the future. I don't know exactly what that will look like, and I need to carve my own path to get to what I want. So again, thank you for making it this far. Please reach out to me. There's a link in the bio. You schedule a phone call. You can send me a DM. You can send me a comment, whatever. Just let me know that you want to be part of that group. We'll call it the struggle group. Growing together, probably a better way to put it. Anyway, I wish you the best of luck.